introduce yourself, please, to the readers of aBlogtoWatch.com?
Yes, my name is Paul Custo, and I'm lucky enough to have the UK agency for Meistersinger.
And could you tell me a little bit more about the brand? What's special about
Meistersinger is 11 years old, and it's the brand that is responsible for getting me involved in the watch business. It was the first brand that I could genuinely get excited about because it is so different. It was started 11 years ago by a man called Manfred Brassler. He was a watch retailer, and he wanted to develop his own range of watches that would take timekeeping back to its very earliest days. Of course, the very first mechanical timepieces derived from sundials. Sundials had one hand, so it was logical for clockmakers to make clocks and then pocket watches with a single hand. So we now have a full collection of watches with just a single hand. And it's a completely sensible and logical way of telling the time. It was only when watchmakers became involved in it that they like to complicate things because it shows how clever they are, the more complications they can put in. But timekeeping on a single hand is the simplest and easiest way.
On a personal level, can you tell me why you love the whole concept behind the brand?
There is something quite special about it. It is a very relaxing way of telling the time, and it's in several layers. Firstly, if you take away the seconds, you take away the minutes, you take away the pressure of time. You have just an hour hand, and that hour hand moves very slowly around the dial. The design of the dial is also very important because you have 2 digits for every hour number. So the single digits have a preceding 0 on them. So you have a very symmetrical appearance to the face, which is very pleasing to the human eye. The hand is actually a long hand. It's needle-like, like you'd find on the dial on a machine dial or a car tachometer. And that also is very pleasing and makes it very easy to tell the time because it's very fine when it gets to the end, where it actually goes against the 5-minute increments that there are marked on the dial between the hour markers. We also do watches with complications. So we have here the Singular, it is called. It's a chronograph. This is a new color we've just introduced today at the SalonQP. It's a blue face. It has gold numbers on it and a gold hand. It's a straightforward stopwatch. The hairline hand at the top here is a 60-second timer once round the dial, and then the small sub-dial here is a 30-minute timer, activated by pressing the button. Starts off the time. You press the top button again to stop it, and you fly back on the bottom button. It has an automatic movement on a beautiful exhibition back. It's waterproof to 5 bar, and it's the most elegant and beautiful watch. We're looking now at the Meistersinger Neo. This was a watch we introduced into the collection last year, and it really is a hark back to the 1950s. So what do you have? You have a 36mm case, but the case has no bezel at all on it. You have a sunburst dial. You have an automatic movement. You have a date function. It has a steel back, which is engraved with the logo for Meistersinger on it, which is actually called the fermata. It's a musical symbol which means pause or rest. It's all to do with this relaxation idea of the Meistersinger brand.
Tell me your plans for the UK.
Well, we've been in the UK now for just coming up 3 years. We have a dozen retailers, and our plan is to double this in the next year. It's quite challenging to introduce a new concept in terms of timekeeping to a market which is very conservative and has been used to selling or having watches which have got 2 or 3 hands. To go very simple, like Meistersinger has done with a single hand, requires a lot of explanation to get people to understand it. But once they do, they love it because it's got this lovely, relaxing, easy feel about it.